Good evening. This is a live look inside where volunteers just beginning to arrive for their shifts after work for the evening phone banking crew. And this is really what they've been doing for the past several weeks, calling Seattle voters. You can see some folks getting flyers ready, mailers ready for weekend canvassing. I want to show you some video of just about an hour ago when we tagged along with candidate Carrie Moon. She was meeting with some seniors at Merrill Gardens community home on First Hill, and she gave them her final campaign pitch, took some questions from the crowd. Seniors there were curious about new development and working with city council members. Yesterday, we followed along candidate Jenny Durkin as she visited another senior community center, this one in South Seattle, and she also gave a short talk, answered some questions. The crowd asked her about homelessness, housing, transportation, the key issues that we've been talking about all campaign season. I asked the candidates after campaigning, weeks of campaigning in 86 forums, what they believe this race is going to come down to, whether one voting block or neighborhood will make or break this election. This is what they said.
I think it's going to be the beautiful quilt of all of Seattle that will make or break this election. And the good news is more people are engaged. Turnout was higher in the primary. I hope we have higher turnout in the general, because the more people that get involved in the city, the better shot you have of fixing the issues facing the city.
Young people turning out is going to be the big question mark, because the more young people turn out, the better chances I have. But this electorate's odd. Like, we don't know who's going to vote. We know people are angry at what happened in November. We know people want real solutions in the city.
And for both candidates, the name of the game at this point is really turning out their voters, their supporters, making sure they mail in their ballots. At last check, King County was reporting about 12 or 13% turnout in Seattle. It is expected close to 50% for King County, so there is a ways to go with just 5 days before Election Day. We drove across town, and this hour we are inside the Jenny Durkin campaign headquarters. Here's one thing that both campaigns have in common: phone banking and pizza tonight. I'm told the goal here is to call 2,000 homes per night. We talked to one longtime volunteer, Dexter Tang, who's been volunteering since May. He said this is what's drawn him to this campaign.
I think she has the right experience and the right ability to bring people together to actually lead our city in a positive place.
And what's your number one issue?
My number one issue, I would say, is homelessness. I think we can all agree that homelessness is a major issue in Seattle, and I think Jenny has the right leadership to make real progress on this particular issue.
If you were watching last hour, you saw a look inside the Carrie Moon campaign in Pioneer Square. Her campaign today telling me they believe this is going to come down to younger voters, the youth vote. So I spoke to one of her volunteers, Ian Calvert, 21 years old, about what's drawn him to that campaign.
I was really inspired by Carrie Moon's message on housing affordability initially. I have a lot of friends. I went to Garfield High School, and I have a lot of friends who have had to, their families or them have had to move out of the city because they could no longer afford the rising housing costs. And now it's just a huge commute to work in Seattle. They've got to live in Federal Way or Tacoma. And so it's really all the same issue.